I'll give it a shot. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And you got to love radio. In fact, you got to really love radio to be an Old Tube radio operator and put up with all that stuff. Well, it's not that much to put up with. It's actually kind of fun, and that's why we have been doing the Old Tube Radio Network for 35 years here on 27085 Channel 11, your radio beacon for the Central Valley of California and around the world now at oldtuberadio.net. And those joining us on the Old Tube Radio YouTube as well, or maybe beaconing in from the YouTube Old Tube CB Radio Network site as well. Welcome to all of you. My name is Dennis, the net controller for this evening, and we will be checking in the classic tube radios in just a moment, but first we'll be chatting with our shortwave listeners during the roll call. So stay tuned. We'll be here for a couple of hours. You can jump in and jump out as you wish. You don't need a radio to participate, and we'd like to hear from you. So here we go. This is week 7, so if you're playing the home game, you should see that it is the 5th of December for 2020, and we are looking for SWL 00.
Well, good evening from the Radio Lounge on December 5th here. I had to climb through all the holly and ivy just to get to my delightful glowing-in-the-dark vacuum tube radio. So good evening from the Radio Lounge, SWL 00.
And good evening. I was trying to key up the mouse. I need to key up the radio. Let's see. I believe this year the Christmas tree lane is still happening, but from what I understand, they have canceled the walk-through night. Is that correct? Or does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I actually just drove down it, and a word of suggestion, and I'll maybe at some other point in time I can go into details about Christmas tree lane, but for those of you that already know what it is, take your cars that have automatic transmissions. I just did it in a 6-speed manual, and you definitely get a workout. I think my left leg is probably twice the size now, muscular-wise, than my right leg. But yeah, there no walk nights this year. Just drive nights.
All right, I asked the question to 00 Mike, who is our purveyor of the portable 11-meter radio that wanders its way down the infamous 2-mile Christmas tree lane here in Fresno, California, which won't be doing that this year. Maybe I'll have to bring up, you might be in our archive somewhere, bring up a little of that in the next couple of weeks. But we appreciate your efforts for that, and definitely going to miss you out there this year, putting in the big signal. Thanks for checking in.
Oh, yeah. No, you will have a special check-in from Christmas tree lane. It's just not going to be tonight.
Okay. Well, we have been warned, and we have been pre-warned for that, so I'll be looking forward to that. Thanks for checking in. So perhaps the tradition will continue. There's a lot of traditions here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Checking in tube radios, talking to the SWLs, having net control, have all sorts of problems, and of course one of our favorite ones is the Jaunting Down Christmas Tree Lane, brought to you live right here on Saturday evenings. Continuing on with the roll call. Where did my roll call sheet go? Giving a check-in for 00, also one for SWL number 1, along with a few others who put this thing all together ever so long ago. Over to SWL number 2, and I should take a look at the big board over here and see who all is out there. I see X4000, DD21 will be coming up to you. Looking for Mr. OBP. I don't see him on the board, so I don't have my sunspot calculations going yet. SWL number 3, we've got a proxy check-in for Rob, SWL 4. SWL 5, I have a check-in for Mama Rose. SWL 6. SWL 7.
Really quick, so I won't be around for the 47th spot there, KJ60QB.
All right, we will get you checked in on the number 2, KB6GFD. And let's see, let me try 7 again and unkey.
Yes, number 7 here, SWL-wise. Yeah, I guess you covered me up.
Yeah, I was listening to the other radio, and I neglected to engage the RX mode.
That's okay. 73's waiting for the tube radios to be on the air.
As am I. Thanks for checking in. Let's go up to SWL 10, and Chrissy is in there tonight checking in. I got the recipe from last week. I have not attempted to make it. I'm going to be asking you probably some stupid man questions later on about that recipe. But let's see, I got together with SWL 44, and he suggested a perfect substitute that puts it back into the realm of something I will be perhaps trying to eat. So we'll talk about recipes coming up. Thanks, Chrissy, for checking in. I've got a monitor turned on here. Let me turn that off. That might help a bit. Let's see. 10 is checked in. Over to SWL 13. And I will be, it looks like the comments are working, so I'll be refreshing the page, looking for your comments. Also, if you check in on one of the Facebook sites, I will be checking that at some point, and we'll get you checked in, so do not fret. SWL 14. SWL 15. SWL 16. Shortwave listener 17. SWL, oh, wait a minute. I missed 16. How did I do that? Because my paper is falling off here, and that's Charles in Anoka, who was helping us out here, getting things started. I think I've kind of chased down the RF. We were straying cables and pulling things out, and so far so good. So we'll see how that works. And will there ever be conditions to Minnesota? Just stay tuned, right? SWL 18. SWL 19, and I still see that you've moved up in the world, Chet, from 14047 to 04915 in Belfast, Maine. I'm thinking that what is the lowest zip code you can have? 0? Is there a 000? I'm in the 9s. You know, out here in California we start with 9s. We're in the 9-3s, but you moved up to 04. You might be 00 next week. It'd be like you can get you checked in on the 00 mode. So thanks 19 for helping us get set up here for everything pre-show. We'll be checking in with Bob and Steve, the Bob and Steve show out of Ohio, and find out what's happening in the green room tonight. Probably something good, and I am decked out in the official Old Tube Radio garb here, so I'm ready to go. SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check in 29 and 54, and we'll be back later.
All right, it's sounding good from the radio room. Thanks for checking in. And then over to SWL 21, who is indeed out there, known the world over as DD21, SWL 21, home of the world's longest ground rod, with no mask on, requesting a COVID-19 free check-in. Well, I'm socially distanced from the group over in the green room, so no masks necessary at this point, although California is going into the big lockdown in about 24 hours. So things are getting a bit wacky. Let's see, tonight, what happened tonight on the show? Let me see what was going on the old radio night, of which Mr. DD21, SWL21 hosts weekly on a favorite YouTube channel near you. He was on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III and the DNA Maverick reverse preamp. Let me click the button here and see. I don't know where we're at.
Crazy Man's house.
That's a little audio from
Night Ranger's
and there's
telling
the
the people there that I did buy a new set of horns for my truck. So
there
when
is
I come
the
by,
actual
you're the
Eagle
Crazy
ping.
Man curve, and I'll be laying down on that horn there, and I'll blow it till the battery goes dead if you don't get on the radio. So he'll have a crude GPS to have
JT, he runs a mean net, so like you heard, if you don't get on and check in, he will blast you with the big horn. We'll have to do that here. Thanks 21. We've got you checked in, and love the radio on the show tonight. SWL 22. SWL 23. Let me see what is going on right there. 23 Skidoo is checking in from the beach where the surfers are stringing Christmas lights on their boards for a little night action. Hanging 10 and then a string of C7s or C9s. What's the old bulb? And none of those LED icicles. We're going with the giant C9 bulbs and the strings that when one goes out, they all go out. Thanks, Mitch, for checking in. And watch out for the jellyfish. SWL 24. SWL 25.
Oh, Dennis, 25 checking in, and I didn't think they made C9 bulbs anymore. Anyway, back to you.
You know, they might not. I'm sure they still make them, but it's sort of like tubes. It's like vacuum tubes. Try and find one at a Christmas-type store near you. I know the C7s were the smaller ones that you deck out on the tree. And probably a 5-pack of C9 bulbs will cost you as much as a string of 100 LED lights. But sometimes you just got to be in the right mode.
Roger. I agree with you 100%. Until after the holidays, and then they give them away. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
All right, back to me in the studio. Yes, they do. So sometimes you have to wait for the big sale after Christmas to put your lights up. I think that's why a lot of people do it early. Thanks for checking in. Then where do we go? Up to page 2. SWL 27.
FM crossband and 2 meters apart. KI6QM.
Okay, I actually heard you on the crossband through my noise. We've got you checked in, and you are sounding good. And no, this is not FT8. This is FT27, KB6GFD. That was 27 on the crossband. I think you heard me.
Oh, Roger, I had you. Stand 2 meters apart. KI6QL.
2 meters and then some. Thank you, Dwayne. Put the X in the square. That takes us over to SWL 28 up there in Sacramento. Gary, good evening. And checking in from West Sacramento, spending the weekend at Bodega Bay. All right, and having a Coke by the fire after crab dinner. It doesn't get any better. For 2020, that's like big time stuff. Thanks for finding us on your Universal Media Net web device And we're all joining you here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I wonder what they're going to be doing in the green room tonight. Maybe they'll take your cue. We'll take our cue from Gary. Got you checked in. SWL 29. I've got a proxy for Loner. SWL 30. Got a check in for Mr. RFI Dwayne. SWL 31. And I did see a Hendersonville, Tennessee on my other screen that's way over here. So let me just see, find out who was all listening out there tonight. Down in the footlights tonight, of course, Anoka and Derby. Hello to Woodburn, Oregon. There's Hendersonville, Tennessee, right in the front row. We got you guys checked in tonight. Also, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Kenny is listening in tonight, so anybody want to say hi to Kenny? He is dialed in. We'll be checking him in just a minute. Hello to San Francisco, probably X4000. Woodland Park, Colorado, always waiting for the E-skip. We've got Garibaldi and Squamish, British Columbia. The gang out there just hanging out. They've got the gizmachis pointed towards Central California here, just in case. Hello to Boulder Creek. We got Monk's Corner, South Carolina. That's a new one. Hello to Leyland in the UK, listening very early. Another San Francisco. Hello, Auberry, Centerville, Virginia. Coming up to you. Dallas, Georgia, sounding good. Pentagon, British Columbia. A lot of British Columbia stations tonight. If you guys get on Channel 11, and what you'll do is stir up the atmosphere, stir up the EF layers or whatever is actually still out there. And maybe we'll come beaconing in. Hello to New Hampshire. I think we're going to have a couple of New Hampshire radios check in tonight. Kerman and, of course, our faithful listener way up there in the balcony from Germantown, Wisconsin. This is the Old Tube Radio Network looking for SWL 32. Had something there, but no audio. All right, there's a Roger beep, but there is no audio. How about SWL 33? That's myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers. Where's the honking proboscis? It's there. It's there somewhere. So 33 is checked in. SWL 34, Mr. Railroader, Jimmy, right there. For 546, checking in. And let's see, what is going on? I was going to try and find, I hear Lito. Got some pictures. I'm going to try and share some pictures from the Old Tube CB radio network tonight. Getting a lot of good posts from tube radio operators around the universe over at the Old Tube CB radio network Facebook page. Thanks, Jimmy. And the break OTR, I hear you, over. All right, 24 with about 10% audio, but you have made it into the Old Tube Radio Network. Got you checked in, over. All right, so 34 is in, 24 is in. Let's go up to SWL 35. And that is Mr. Bill checking in from probably a very chilly Cheyenne, Wyoming. Good to see you last night. Bill was in with us on the Ditch Banks sideband that last Friday night on Lower 38. Over to SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37 checking in. And good evening over there in Oklahoma there.
Yeah, that's... DD21 is trying to come in again. The old radio night is colliding with the Old Tube Radio Network. We've got you checked in, Chris. And Kenny is definitely listening tonight.
Good, I hope so. I missed the guy.
Yeah, we're getting hooked up via the Universal Media NetWeb and two-wave radio. All right, I'm still hearing bleed through coming on something. Don't know what that's from. Oh, maybe it's from. No, it's not from that. Well, we'll just keep going. Thanks. SWL 38. That's what happens when you buy these cheap audio boards. SWL 39. SWL 40.
SWL 40 checking in.
SWL 40 checking in, and hopefully you've got the calamity under control out there.
It is out of control, but everything is okay.
Well, that's perfect, because this is the out of control but okay frequency. Thanks for checking in. And then we continue on with SWL 41. You must have a great internet connection. As soon as I say Road Dog 507, he magically appears on my screen from Hudson Valley, New York. Thanks for checking in and looking good. SWL 42.
Yeah, that's Proxy and 42 in the game.
Okay, will do. Boy, things are slow. I haven't cleared up my memory a bit. Not my memory, but the memory on the computer. If I cleared up my memory, we would be in all sorts of trouble tonight. All right, I'll get Jerry and the gang checked in. Thanks. Over to, where are we going? SWL 43. Got a proxy for 43 and SWL 44, and I hear rumors that there is a high noise level going on tonight. And I see your post there, so I will get you checked in, and hopefully the high noise level will go away. Say goodbye to QRM and QRN. Then we head over to SWL 45.
45. Sounded good tonight, Dennis.
Okay, and likewise, sounds like you are in the radio room, keeping warm. Not because you're burning any of the wood in the fireplace. You've got all the tube radios fired up, so we will be listening for you in the air chair coming up. SWL 46. SWL 47, we get you checked in again. He is out in the mobile radio unit. SWL 48. I'm going to get Sam checked in. I saw him on a Facebook post earlier. Over to SWL 49. SWL 50. SWL 51. Oops. I keyed the microphone. I moved the J38 key and I cleaned it up and lubricated it, but I've got a loose nut. I've got a loose connection, or the swivel connection on the slide to talk bar. So occasionally, as I'm moving around here, I will inadvertently key up. I'm going scrolling back on the list because I thought I saw a post. Yes, as I did from Dave tonight, saying I think he's also got a high noise floor. What was your info? High noise floor tonight over here, but he's checking in. All right, that's early, so we get an X in the square. I don't know what is it about the South Valley tonight. The south part of the central North Valley is having big time noise issues tonight. There's 51 checked in. SWL 52. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. I'm on 490 Real Basic Radio. Navajo. Is it getting out? Talk about.
Plenty of signal. The audio kicked in and kicked out. It's a little bit low, so keep your eye on the modulation lights and the wiggle meters. Over.
53 checking in there, Dennis.
All right, very good that time. We've got you on the realistic. Over.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Have a good night.
Uh-oh. Heading over to page 3. Who else is on there? North Charleston. Johnny Defiant is in. I don't think I have the Johnny Defiant filter on. Let me see. For those of you on the Universal Media Netweb. Johnny Defiant. Oh, it is. Okay. It's still there. I thought I had burned it out. Who else is hanging around tonight? Charlie Hustle 55 said he talked to MMM yesterday and then BBI. Charlie Hustle, where are you at? You can't be in California because that would be ground wave or something else. Although we can hear him backscatter. I can when the band is really open and we got good conditions. I wonder if he was on his behemoth beam. What did he say about the 100-foot boom foot beam going on there? Let's go to check in for SWL 54. We've got Larry and SWL 55. Okay, Baltimore. Well, that would be a good hop for conditions we've been getting here lately. So good deal. You got to hear the giant. I don't know how many elements that beam is that he's got. Let's go to SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
And sounding good just for kicks. I've got, what is this? It's a manual for the audio board. I don't need that. Thanks for checking in, Phil. Trying to keep it all together here. SWL 57, Mr. BDA, Brown Dog Audio. Saying hello to OTR and all the ships at sea and the shortwave listeners. Old tube radio operators. The operators will be coming up here in about 15 or 20 minutes. Thanks for checking in. SWL 58.
Yeah, go ahead and proxy in 58. He is on dad duty tonight.
You know, Saturday night is a definite on-call for dad duty, so I'm glad he is around to do that, and we will get him checked in. SWL 58 is Jeremy, the purveyor of the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens Friday evenings here in the Central Valley on 36 lower, 27,365. Everyone is welcome, local or DX. I don't know if I've got an audio snippet of our last night's net.
How about,
there it is.
single sideband contact?
It's a sideband net, of course.
And he was operating just a little above 27.
And probably talking about the question of the evening.
Oh, okay.
There's
Sounds
Jeremy
good.
right
yeah,
there.
just with an aircraft operating at 27, just a little over 405. Interesting. I've managed a few. There's a couple guys that are pretty active. A couple airline pilots are pretty active when they get a chance on cross-country legs. They'll get on there, but that's usually. And
Jeremy runs an SDR-type radio, which he often puts online, so you can not only see but hear what is going on as well. That's the Ditch Banks sideband net on Friday evenings here in the Central Valley at 8 p.m., if I didn't say so, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. SWL 59, SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis, and evening time to all the fellows out there. If you've got a copy on this old Jake's radio, the 291, I don't think you'll mind, the DX2527.
It's perfect. The audio is as good as it ever was. I think there's a song about that, the DX2527. And 291 is dual thumbs up on that one. Got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 61.
51, check it in,
SWL 61. Hello, Dean. We've got you checked in on the Saturday night place to be.
Thank you, sir.
Or perhaps one of the many Saturday night places to be. SWL 62. SWL 63. And Butterbean. I think I saw Butterbean in the comments over on Old Radio Night, so I'll get North Georgia. I'll get Butterbean checked in if you're out there listening. SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. Let me see. That would be Bill up in Oregon. I don't think there's anybody in Oregon on just yet, but I bet. Oh, there's Woodburn. Who's that in Woodburn, Oregon? Are you proxying in, or are you the 67? I get 67 checked in. But usually he shows up at Canby. I've got to get better with my zip codes to see if it's close enough. Although, look what happened with Chet there. He went from 14 to 04, and that's a long hop from Derby to that place in Maine. So you just never know. Anyway, Bill, if you're listening, we got you checked in. Over to SWL 68. SWL 69. Kenny, we see you out there. Thanks you're staying up late tonight. You're staying up late tonight here to join us on the West Coast, and we're glad to have you. Thanks for checking in.
Dennis, give me a minute there with Kenny.
Go ahead. Over.
Kenny, this is me, Joe. I hope you and Marsha are doing fine. I love the sympathy card that you sent me. I did get it. I've been a little lazy to respond. I know I didn't take your call when you called, but I wasn't feeling all that well. But I do appreciate it, love you guys, and miss you. And Merry Christmas to you. So, Dennis.
All right, thanks. Perfect message, and he's out there listening, and 100% copy, I am sure. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. There will be those classic glow-in-the-dark radios coming up after the roll call. We are listening for SWL 70. And Mark was the net control for the Wednesday night net that happens on 10 meters at 28,445 upper sideband, of course, on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And everyone is welcome to that, whether you are ground wave or DX. So tune it in on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. at 28,445. Would love to hear some of our licensed stations here that might be able to make it in on an e-skip hop. Next is SWL 71, and I do believe I did see Mr. Announcer holding the classic RCA 44 microphonium, and Stan is checking in. Thank you. SWL 72, Eric in Clovis. SWL 73. I heard John on the 2-meter side today, so I'll get him checked in. SWL 74. I got to check in for Miss Jilly, who's probably busy trimming the Christmas tree and all that kind of stuff. SWL 75. Shortwave listener 77.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and 73 is all the listeners. And I want to wave a hand at Kenny there and wish him a Merry Christmas and all the best to himself and his family. Stay healthy, stay safe. And 77 on the old Tower of Power in the Tower District, checking in.
Sounding good with the background audio here of, I don't know what was going on outside, motorcycles or something, but you made it through just fine.
Thank you, thank you.
Over to SWL 78, Richard Effort. He checked in very late last week, so I'll keep an eye out for Rich. Over to SWL 79 with an early check-in for Mr. DC. And then at the bottom of page 3, SWL 80. And before I jump over to page 4, as we often do, let me see what is happening over in the green room tonight. Checking in with the Ohio crew, the Bob and Steve show that keep things going and have pretty much turned the Old Tube Radio Network Studio B green room into the happening place to be on a Saturday evening here. And what's going on tonight? Let me grab the What For. Jingle Singers have put up the tree, I noticed, and all the lights, and we tried to stay true to form and use the C7s and the C9s. We spent most of the week. Unscrewing and screwing in the colored bulbs to get all the strings to work, but I think we did quite well. It looks nice. They've got lights up in the elevator. I noticed that. Just make sure it is OSHA approved. You know, not blocking the buttons and all that kind of stuff. And there is free, no wonder there are so many people on the balcony. Bob and Steve are giving free eggnog up in the balcony tonight. So if you haven't been up there, take a tour by and get some eggnog. They're taking the Jingle Singers in the limo Tuesday night to see Christmas Tree Lane. Yeah, the walk night is out, and that probably is better to keep the Jingle Singers all together in the limo. There's a limo? I don't even want to see what it's probably rented. They're probably going to rent that thing. Well, I know the card. 98th. It's a 98th season on Van Ness Boulevard. I didn't know that. It's coming up for 100. I wonder what they're going to do for the 100th anniversary. We'll have to do something special on the Old Tube Radio Network. It's drive-through only. All right, we'll look forward to that. At the bar tonight, Savannah, Georgia, fried shrimp and fried chicken tacos, and an order of queso and chips. Did I say that right? And all down on the table to share. So come on down and don't forget to feed the fish. That's the password to get in. I shouldn't say that on the air, but if you ever are knocking on the back door out there the green room, the special secret code is don't forget to feed the fish, and we'll let you in. Although it never works when I say it. That's why I just come in the front door. Page 4 is where we're going. SWL 81. And look at Steve checked in. He may punch in here with an update on what's going on in the Unicorn mode of operation. Hey, special wave of a hand to Greg, who is checking in. The WikiWack SoCal, yeah, out there. We had somebody hanging 10 earlier, and you know what, Greg? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, the post isn't there. He had you've heard of the Browning train, you know, with the 5 or 6 pieces. He had the entire train of the FT-102s listed over on one of the websites tonight. I think it was Righteous Radios. And I had one here. I took it out. But there is one right over here. You can see the light, one of the meter lights is burned out, but that one is here. The VSO is up there, and there's another one over here. I've got a couple to fix. And if we're lucky, I might get the one fixed that I can use as the transmitter receiver for your mellifluous audio. Anyway, Greg, thanks for checking in tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over we go to SWL 82.
82, check it in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa. Good evening.
And the Ditch Banks is sounding good. I just lost my... Oh, there it is. I misplaced my pen. I got so excited about talking about the FT-102 that I put things in the wrong spot. You are checked in and sounding good. Then we go over to SWL 84.
84. Good evening there, Dennis. And I hope all is well in your camp there. And have a fine evening here. And if you can check in on my girls at the appropriate time, I'd really appreciate it. Roger, Roger.
Will do. Sounding good on the AM mode. I heard you, I don't know if it was a week or so ago, checking in on the 40-meter sideband net. Really sounding good. So I'm glad you are, when you can, what do they say, catch as catch can. When you can get into the radio room and keying up, or is it keying down? I think you key down when you're on AM and you key up when you're on sideband. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Around lunchtime there, we try to get over there on 7204, and when we feel up to it there. But, we are striving to get better there, Roger.
That is how you do it, one step at a time. Or I remember I was laying bricks one time for a project, and I thought, I'm never going to get this done. And you just do it one brick at a time, and at some point, it's all done, and it looks beautiful. Thanks for checking in.
Check.
Over to Reedleytown for SWL 85. SWL 86, 87, and 88. One of our many triple plays that we do here, and we've got the one I just did, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl. We've got the Squamish BC. Actually, it's more than a triple play now, I think, and of course, the 4290 and 137 as well. Let's try SWL 89. SWL 90, one of the check-ins, over to SWL 92. I'm not sure. I just can't hear Chuck and Madera anymore. If he's out there, somebody relay. Okay, if we can't get north of town, let's try SWL 93. Get a proxy check-in for Louis. Let's try south of town, SWL 98.
Checking in, Dennis.
All right, radio sounds good tonight. Good copy and nice audio. Thanks for checking in.
You got good audio tonight, too, Audio. I got very low noise level. All right, check you out.
Then we head up to, where are we going? Triple digits, SWL 103. And I've got to check in for Cheesy E off of Facebook. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. Didn't hear Reedley in earlier. SWL 111. How about SWL 113? SWL 114.
114, checking in.
SWL 114. Thank you, Wayne. Got you checked in.
Thank you.
SWL 128. Let me check the big board here and see where John is on the, about 41 minutes ago, checking in from Chile. He didn't capitalize Chile, but I bet he could. Chile, Northern Virginia. It must be that first full week in December. Okay, thanks for checking in. Working on getting my SWL card. Just very disappointed. I finally got the general coverage receiver open, and seems like it's slim pickings on the regular shortwave band, but still fun to listen in, to scroll through. And you don't even need a radio. You can get on one of the SDR sites out of Utah or wherever, back east, or there's one here in California, and SWL that way. I think a lot of people do that now. Over to SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133, checking in.
Beaconing, as always, from northwest Fresno. Delta Echo Foxtrot. He knows what I'm talking about. Got you checked in.
That's USL, thank you.
SWL 135. A check-in for SWL 137. And up to one of our Course Gold stations beaconing into Midtown Fresno tonight, SWL 145.
Well, good evening, Dennis and the group. Tony and Course Gold checking in.
Sounding good, Tony. Also doing a good job on the sideband nets as well. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe.
Then we go to SWL 147. I should have had him pre-set up because I do know that he had checked in earlier. I will find his... Oh, there it is. There's Neil. 147 in Kakalaki. He's in the house, but not long. Got to shut down early for an early call in the morning. Some decent conditions in the afternoon, but dead quiet today. Yeah, it seemed to be less today. And here on the West Coast, it's morning. It's kind of morning and early or afternoon. It seems like by 12 or 1 o'clock, it just goes away. Whatever conditions we have fade out, and it does the same thing for 15 meters. It also opens up. But it is opening up, and that's a good thing. Thanks, Neil, for checking in. I know you're probably gone, but you might listen in on the replay. Let's head back up to Course Gold. I kept the line open. I kept the Course Gold line open, so we have great communications with Mr. Starliner. Hello, radio.
195 checking in, Dennis. You sound good.
Well, I always try and make sure that I talk to people that have good receivers. So I get great compliments. All right, thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good weekend.
It's like they say, you are 5 and 9. And let's head over to Mariposa. That is Jeff, SWL 226. I will get Jeff checked in. I can hear him on the sideband net. So, Jeff, if you're listening, we've got you checked in. Over. Let me see if there's anybody else that would like to check in or say hello. If I missed you, I try to keep an eye on the multiple comments page. So if you're hanging out for the first time or just listening in, we will try and acknowledge you with no problems. Anybody listening for the Gold Tube Radio Network? And Popcorn 913 has a great seat up in the balcony for some of the eggnog going on tonight. So give me a moment. I will move some wires around. We'll get set up for the tube radios and your check-ins. So stand by. Well, I think everything is ready. Let's give it a try for your old tube radio network. Well. We're going to try that again. Someone unplugged the cable to the control room, I see. Probably tripped over it as they were running back and forth to get the goodies. So now this may or may not work. Let me do a test here. All right, that's perfect. And this is what we call in the business a take two.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Your old tube radio network on a Saturday evening, 27085, Channel 11, the real radios glowing in the dark, the type you would have picked up at your local electronics store in 1958 when the FCC said, yes, there will be a Class D citizen radio service. And about 1978 when, of course, there still was a Class D citizen radio service as there is today, but that solid state was the way to go. See what we can get tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network is standing by for your tube radio check-ins.
45.
And I hear you, Paul, SWO 45. I'm going to grab the tube radio list, and I will sign in, so like they did in the old game show. And this is a December 5th, 2020. Oh, also what I have to do while I've got the microphonium keyed, I have the official, where is it? Oh, Old Tube Radio Pocket Protector, and our sponsor tonight. I have to put in the pen. Tonight, our sponsor is pretty cool pen. It says Radio and TV Equipment Incorporated, wholesale distributors at 2014 First Avenue, South Fargo, North Dakota. With a phone call, Radio and TV Equipment Incorporated. Oops. Let's see if you can you see that? Radio TV Equipment Incorporated. So let me get that in the pocket protector. I feel officially dubbed net controller tonight. Hello, Paul.
Enjoy your little short first. Okay. Anyway, I want to check in my Tram Titan.
All right, just getting you logged in. Radio 1 at 8:56. My unofficial Radio Shack Micronta giant LED clock off the screen here that sometimes is set to WWV. And we head over to, I've got to move a couple of things around on my screen or I will be forever sorry. I'm all ready. They just moved off. And I will find the picture of the tram, and it is the Titan, the straight to Titan, over.
Tram Titan. I believe it's the first Titan that was manufactured by Tram. There's Titan 2 was real popular. You find all kinds of information on it everywhere, but Titan is not too popular. I think it was the first one out, if I'm not correct. Can you tell me the date it was manufactured on that big day?
For the Titan, I'm going to say, let me see if I've got some info on it. I'm going to say 1966 or 1965. When they came out with the Titan 2, which looked a lot like the Tram Titan that we're looking at right now if you're at oldtuberadio.net or on the video. And I noticed they carried over the same S meter that they used in the TR-23 or TR-27E. So it might have actually been 64, but I'm going to say 1965, and then 66, 67, they added the double sideband like the Regency Imperial. But you've got a nice mid-60s radios right there, over.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is really neat. It's got some large meters on the thing. For FWR watts and the whole thing in 1 meter. And these things came out with a Collins mechanical test filter. And you are coming in crystal clear. They really, that's right. I don't have many, it's the only tram I've got, but I got too many generals and generals, so I can't afford it anymore. I'd like to have another one, but I'll save this one. Kind of like the first one they made on this. Interesting. Back to you.
Yeah, I had a chance to pick up one at Red Monkey when Mr. Bill was having some radios for sale, and that just was a really, really bad time for me to spend money on radios. But that's one of the ones I had my eye on. Not the Titan II, but the Tram Titan, with possibilities of making it like the net control station. Gotta love the tunable receive, all 23 channels, lots of functionality there with the controls, and like you said, the giant S-meter, almost similar to what you'd find on an amateur radio receiver, and I believe it's the same one that carried it over from the TR-27E. Good signal. You've got a powerful S9 signal. Your audio is probably only about 60 or 70%. It's not moving the meter at all, but I do hear you okay. It says the Tram Titan was all steel and tube chassis, AM only, with great transmit and receive, and as you mentioned, the Collins mechanical filter in the front end. Sort of when a lot of the radios were starting to put in the Collins mechanical filter. I think Browning may have had one. I think the Courier Royale had one, and then this guy as well. Back to you.
Yeah, okay, we'll get back to the modulation. I wasn't getting up to it very good, but I'm not using a microphone probably should be used on this radio at all. It's a microphone that's made in Japan, but made for Lafayette. I'm sure it's ceramic, but it's worn pretty heavy. I need to put another microphone. I've got into it, but a little closer now, maybe it helps. Back to you.
Yeah, I brought it up a little bit. Just sounds, I think you pegged it. It's probably not the microphone that radio is wanting to see. The frequency response is a little bit restricted, and as we all know, that radio with the proper microphone and impedance matched up should be screaming pretty good, but you're doing okay. It's 100% key down. I was looking to see if I had on my Rolodex here a compliment on the tubes, the final and the driver, and I do not. It would be interesting to see, to compare it with the TR-27E to see what they changed when they went over to this style. Might have been quite a bit of differences. I see that it is in Sam's CB13. So if I was near to the old TR library, I could probably pull out the Sam's PhotoFax 13 and find it. I got mic wiring. 1 is audio, 2 is shield, 3 is receive, and 4 is transmit. Back to you for another transmission.
Yeah, on the picture you got there, it looks like they're running a turner on the thing. So, interesting. I should want to turn into it. Okay, hey, thanks a million for checking in, Dan.
All right, sounds good. I might even try one of the Electro Voice. I think that's what Ed runs on his. The ones they run on a lot of the Collins radios. But I definitely know you can get some more audio out of that with the proper microphone. But for transmit, you're doing a good. You know, come back with another transmission. I'll check. We'll see how the Crystal is doing. I'll do a 0 beat here.
Yeah, you got. I think a couple kgs below. Okay, but you don't have these radios changed. I won't say what it's doing right now. I'm kind of curious to see what you come out of it. Back to you.
Actually, you're not bad. I get you 27085.7 plus or minus. So you're right within that FCC limit of the 700 cycles. So not bad for, about 55 years on the crystals there. You're doing good. Radio number 1 is Paul up in North Fork, and he's on tonight, or starting on tonight, on the Tram Titan, the first of the Titan series by Tram, with the excellent transmitter and something that Tram was known for. Also Browning. Tram and Browning sort of gave everybody a run for their money on making sure that the receivers were certainly top-notch. Thanks for bringing it by.
You're welcome. Oh, I got to add something to it. Before me, of course, they completely took the paint off the thing and polished the whole case. It's really shiny. I think I'd rather have it painted, but it's different. Thanks again, Dad.
Well, you could have it painted. I think if someone was voting for painting it, I know one of the colors would be green. We passed the top of the hour. Let's see if they've tripped over the mic cords again coming into the studio here. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 2. I want to see if this will work. If you're at oldtuberadio.net or the YouTube video, here is a Johnson, looks like a Messenger 2. And that's from the collection of Randolph. Said he scored that for $5, but he's a little bit nervous to plug it in and turn it on. Said he had no idea when the last time it was turned on. Well, that's where you do... And I'm sure Greg knows about this, the light bulb trick, you know, with running the light bulb in line with the AC power. That's the Messenger 2, something new from Randolph. So I guess you still can find bargains on Tube radios if you look. OTR standing by for radio 2.
45.
Hey, Paul is back. Big signal and lots of audio this time. So like to see what the coiled cord microphonium has found its way to now. Over.
Well, good old general radio telephone. I tricked my MC5. It is a lot better, a lot noisier. I know that for sure. Back to you.
Yeah, perhaps not quite the receiver, but general radio telephone... Probably one of the best bargains, because I don't think they offered a radio for over $200. In fact, on some of these, they actually cut the price. But they would give you a lot of bang for the buck. Looking for the MC5 in the Rolodex, and I think I found it. This might actually be... Let me click on it there. There it goes. This might actually be... It says it's from your collection. I don't know if this is the radio that you are on or not. Showing what I would think the original, I'm going to call it that waffle-style microphone. Take another transmission.
Yeah, well, you got it. It's a Turner Power Mic. You figure the M-Plus 2U. I went to that after hearing Jerry's radio sounds so doggone good that I thought I'd try the same thing. I got my stock mic here. If you have it at the moment, I'd like to run it right after this or so, see how it compares.
All right, let's see. Don't put it on yet. What I want to do, I'm going to switch over to the Orban loudness meter. So take another transmission with that current microphone. Over.
Okay. Yeah, this one here is in Turner Plus 2. It's got the battery inside that's harder than heck to change, but they're worth it once you get it done. Back to you.
Yeah, I think wasn't that a strange... Go ahead and change the microphonium there. Change the microphone. I'd had that funky, what was it, a 7-volt battery? I think some people retrofit them to... Well, that's the mobile style. The base had the 9-volt battery, so I'm not sure what you're using. All right, I've got you logged in on the Orban meter. You made it up to minus 15 on the LKFS. So over to you with the other microphone. I wonder what it is. And hopefully it is working.
I got the other microphone now, if you can hear me.
Yeah, the other microphone is sounding good. Take an old buzzard transmission. Over.
Yeah, my vehicle drifted away. I'm back on you, got it now. Anyway, this is the stock microphone right here.
This is the one that the radio came with it, actually. It's got general radio telephone microphone, I think. It's a checkerboard, I would call it, microphone on the front. Real heavy little mic. But I hope it probably sounds fair. I hope it does. Back to you.
It sounds good. I think the other one has a little bit more loudness. For clarity, they're about the same, but I think the other one had a little bit better clarity. I'm going to put on the radio S-meter. There we go, so I can see how it's affecting the forward modulation as well. So give us another transmission. Either one works, but as we have found, and as Jimmy says, the MC Audio Hammer works good with just about any microphonium. Over.
Okay, well, I'm anxious to see this on the archives. Really helps me a lot with your knowledge and everything on the thing. And like a free checkup. I call it that way. Anyway, I thought I'd take it in. I'll tell you what, I'd like to see if Jerry shows up. I've got this little solar thing I'd like to turn on, if you don't mind. The whole signal. And here it is. Really popular on the MC5. Jerry did that.
Yeah, the Q-Bird. And there's a circuit, I can't remember if it's the tube or whatever that sort of controls the oscillation and the sweep and the timing. And yours is very on the relaxed. It's on the mellow side. Some of them get quite hyper. But the tone is sounding good, and it appears to be doing what a Q-Bird should do. Over.
Great. Maybe we can compare him to if he comes in. I hope he does. Anyway, thanks a lot for checking it in, Dan.
All right, gotta love the Q-Birds. And it looks like a couple of the SWLs chiming in and saying that they liked the audio clarity better on the +2 microphonium, and I would probably have to agree with them. It has just a little bit more punch, so perhaps time has not been as nice to the element in the stock microphone, but it plays quite well and could be easily a daily driver. Thanks for bringing by the MC 5 from General Radio Telephone. It did sell for $199.95 in 1963. Said it was probably the most advertised General Radio Telephone, much like the MC4, but it had a stronger transmitter, and it was the last of the General Radio telephones that included the tone call, the tone alert of the Q-Bird, because the FCC said, no, if you're going to put some type of a tone caller or a noisemaker or whatever you want to call it into a radio, it probably is going to need to be an extra piece that isn't built in. And so there you go. A tube complement on this. They do it all with 7 tubes, 6 BQ5, a couple of 6 EA8s, a 6 HB6, a couple of those. And it will run 12-volt DC, 6-volt DC, and 115-volt AC. So you know it's one of those early 60s radios. Thanks for bringing it by.
You're very welcome. We went back to this little mic right here. Looking forward to the archive. Hope some others check in. They'll start in here pretty soon. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, definitely a little bit cleaner and clearer on that microphone, but it's not. You're not overdoing the amplification, which it could be real easy to do on that radio. Mitch, yeah, I forgot. It's a couple of neon lamps that control the oscillation. So I don't know if there was a way like they did with the Eagle Ping, where you could change the lamps or do something and get your own special Q-Bird audio. We're looking for radio number 3. Hello, Joe. Over.
Yeah, thank you much, Dennis. I think this whole messenger's warmed up. I can smell the tubes cooking. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Johnson Messenger 223. Doggone it, she's all lit up nice in the front, real pretty. We'd like to check in with a ceramic mic, a stock mic.
All right, jumping into the Rolodex here for the Messenger 223. Let me try the one that's got the mod light. You may or may not have the mod light, but you've definitely got the 223 and got the Johnson audio that sounds good. Back to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think one time Harvey did say that there was something under here that glowed, I guess, maybe below the tubes or something, but I've never, well, you know what, I've got to get around to cleaning it. I will check it. I'm not going to drill a little hole and bring it up, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, maybe we'll call that, since it's December, call that the Rudolph effect. You could even say it glowed, but you just have to find it, and they just brought it out to the front. Messenger, I call it Messenger 2. It's a Messenger 223. I said it incorrectly before, but I guess I could call it a Messenger 2 because it basically is. It's the Messenger 2 in a bigger box with all 23 channels and some illumination and an S meter. So it was their base radio. I don't think this one is advertised as going mobile, and by that time, at the end of the run on the 223s, they had a couple of other solid-state units that were going mobile. 1969 to 1972 is when this came around, and typically you could find it for just over $200, maybe a little bit more with the supplied Johnson-style desk mic. You are using, is it a desk mic or a hand mobile style mic are you running?
This is definitely a hand style, like a mobile. Now, on the back end of this radio, there's nothing but the hardwire plugged into the, of course, the electricity and the coax. Other than that, there's nothing back there. And it being 11 tubes, and the dial is in the same lighted area as the meter, so it has this nice meter look to it. And, of course, the nice size speaker.
And good audio. I don't think there was Collins mechanical filters in that, but it's got a nice front fire speaker. And I don't know if they beefed up any of the receive or not from the Messenger 2. But nobody ever complained about their Johnson Messenger 223 for sure. It sounds good. It is our radio number 3, and I'd say it used to be new to your collection, but now it's one of the old pros in there.
Oh, we're going to hang into this one there for a while. We're going to hang on to it. Definitely, no doubt about that. Nothing's been done other than the fact we're still looking for an element for the desk mic. This microphone has an element like a Turner Plus 2, you know, the old aluminum cover, good size, about 1.5 inches or so. And it looks like it would fit into that desk mic, but we're gonna still hold off a little bit and try to get the original element to it. But other than that, appreciate you letting me check in this Messenger 223.
Sounds good. And just a note that I believe those were electronic switching, meaning if you were to unplug the microphonium, that you would lose the receive audio coming out of the speaker. So a thing to note, if you get one of those and it doesn't have a microphone with it, and you turn it on and think, well, maybe there's something wrong. I believe it needs the microphone to connect the circuit. Speaking of which, you said a ceramic microphone. Is it, who makes do you have a manufacturer for the microphone? I'm just curious who makes the microphone.
Well, I've looked around for it. I've come up with nothing yet. I don't know. Really, I don't know who makes this head. I know that I opened it up one day, and there was a hot wire to the mic. There was 2 wires to it, and one of them had a ground connected to it. That may be what's giving it the audio, because like I say, it is like a Turner Plus 2 element. But anyway, we'll do a little bit more checking around, and it is a stock mic, so if it sounded okay, we'll keep it on there for a while.
No, it sounds good. I'm getting some good reports from the SWLs. It doesn't have a lot of low frequency response, but it's got good mid-range and high mid-range, which is the punchy audio, which you can't go wrong with in any condition. So it's a fairly decent match for that. But I'm thinking if you had the Johnson desk mic or maybe something else, you could get a little more full fidelity out of it, but you certainly don't need it. It sounds good and it carries well. Radio 3, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. And come back. If you told me I wasn't listening very well, you do or do not have the modulation light with that?
No modulation light with this one. Like I said before, Harvey mentioned that there would be one underneath the tube assembly down there, I guess below the board. Some little thing lights up, he says. And I'm curious, one of these days, well, it won't be long now. I just bought some contact cleaner, and I want to, kind of plug the old tubes back, in and out so we can get a fresh contact. But other than that, doggone it, no modulation light. She's about as plain as Jane.
But sounding good on the air, and I'm laughing at Greg's comment. I never thought about that on AM. That's why we like AM, because it's got that full 6 kilohertz or more fidelity. So the personality of the radio operator comes out, and if you get the right combination of microphone, even more so, way more so than single sideband. Sounding good, Joe. Thanks for bringing it by. And as Jimmy mentions, and we've said before, for someone looking for a first radio or to start a collection, those are still easily found, if there is such a thing to say, easily found, still quite affordable, and you get everything. You get full 23 channels. You get good audio, good receive. So if you're only going to have one radio and you want to get into the tube stuff, that's a good way to start. Like a good old E.F. Johnson or a Lafayette. Still easy to find, and it works great. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, Dennis. And doggone it, we owe this one to Bill up there in Cheyenne. The old boy really did a number to this one. He's the one that got her going. So. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole bunch, and we'll see if we can get the tubes hot on the other one.
Warming up the tubes is a good thing. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me see if the jingle singers are. They're having a good time. Whenever we have a great spread of food, it's hard to get them to the microphonium, and we'll try anyway.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you and maybe even you, the Old Tube Radio Network. We are standing by looking for radio number 4.
45.
Number 7.
And we've got Paul. Step up into the air chair, Paul. You'll be radio number 4 at 922. And Ed, you will be radio number 5 after that. So we've got lots of good things in the green room. We'll see you in a moment. Hello, Paul. Over.
Yeah, go ahead. He'll have to take over because this is my last radio I got tonight. This is my Lafayette Comstat 9 kit radio.
Oh boy, let me see if I can find something like that in the archives. I think that may be the same as the 19. It says no image available. Let me see if I actually do have something here. Things have changed a little bit on the websites. It makes it a little bit more difficult to find something. So I will put this up, and we'll see if that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, all right. Looks similar to the 19, but it was the kit style. Back to you.
Yeah, that's it. Same thing as the 19 on the thing. However, this is a kit. They're identical radios on the things. It's one's a made, factory, and then one you put together on the thing. They sell for about $134.45. And there wasn't much difference between the kit and the factory one. So
I think the person would go with the factory one. I think you'd be better off. But anyway, this is well made. I didn't make it, but it came this way it is. And it's got the stock microphone on the thing, too. The actual stock one, ceramic microphone. Nice looking radio, and VFO is very touchy, but I hope I'm still with you. Back to you.
You're right on. We'll do a zero beat receive. I'm just looking at the front of the radio. We've got a mod light, transmit and receive crystal, and a selector. So I don't have a lot of information. I'm assuming it's nine channels, and you've got the external one where and that's a nice thing. You know, you could have your little box of crystals there, and what they were about $5 or $6 for a new channel set. And you could pop them in, keep your favorites. Of course, channel 11 would be in the favorites on the dial, and of course, you had all 23 on the receive, so that saved you some money there. Nice audio. It's nice and loud audio. It's up to par with any of the other radios that you've been on before. Come back with the transmission. I'll put up the S meter and see where you're at on the signal. Over.
Okay. I hope I'm pretty close. I don't remember checking it in, but it seems like it's running pretty close to the thing. I got this external deal on the thing where you plug it in, crystal on the outside. So that's what I'm running right now. I'm not running the inside one. You should have a pretty good mark on now.
Yeah, I'm back. Got me stretching over the radio. 27084. So a little bit low, but not bad at all. With the bandwidth on my AM receive, I couldn't even tell. But looking good and sounding good, and this radio is every bit as loud as your other radios, and the signal is up there as well. I want to say probably the Tram Titan has beat all the radios tonight for signal for that you've checked in, but this one is up there as well and doing a good job of full quieting. From Lafayette Radio Electronics, Johnny Defiant saying his first radio was the Comstat 19. I bet a lot of first radios were the Comstat 19 at that price point of under $150, and maybe you could even find them for $129 or $99, that $100 back in the day. I remember my first radio turned out to be solid state, but I was going to get, I think it was the Fan and Fanfare, which was like a Courier 23 clone. And I walked into Radio Shack, and I think their first Navajo was like $20 less. And so I succumbed to the call of solid state when I should have gotten tubes. Back to you.
Yeah, all right. Well, you got this is in there. I think Rob put it in for me, but you just haven't come across it, this particular one. Doesn't make any difference. They all look the same. But I think I put mine in there. Anyway, appreciate you checking it in. I'll be listening.
All right, very good. I'm going to put up the 19. And there's the 19. Just the, like we were saying, basically the not do-it-yourself version. But it's got the transmit receive crystal. They were, let's see, 7 tubes, 12 volt DC, 115 volt AC. It's on CB Photofax 14, page 87. Output modulator to 6AQ5, which was not uncommon. The mic preamp, 12AX7. No wonder the audio is so good. You've got a 12AX7 in there. Final amp is 6AW8. So, it's working good. Thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, it also has an interesting thing. You get 5 watts or 100 milliwatts. There's a little red switch on the back you can flip. That'll change the thing real low, which is unusual. Thanks for checking it in, Jay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And I think that was because if you went to 100 milliwatts, the FCC said that was your, the walkie-talkie non-licensed. So in theory, you could pick this radio up, keep it in the 100 milliwatt position until you filled your form out and paid the $8 or the $20 or whatever it was at that time when this radio came out. It went up as high as $20. That's what I had to pay, and that was 1970, I think. And you could keep it in the 100 milliwatt position and be perfectly FCC legal until the agent of the federal government delivered that license, and then you could flip the switch. and not worry about the FCC. Thanks for bringing it by. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glow in the Dark. If you're just tuning in or listening in, we are at channel 11-27085, beaconing on the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. There is plenty of Facebook goodness on the Old Tube CB Radio Network Facebook page, and of course here on Saturday evenings, all sorts of good stuff, including what's coming up next, Radio 5. Hello, Ed.
And hello, TR, Dennis, and all the SWLs. This time, the Tram TR27 Echo.
Over to the Tram, we grab the Rolodex, and we will see not a familiar radio, at least tonight, but we will see what is a familiar S-meter on the radio that they pulled over to, and that's not showing up. Why is that not showing up? Let's try this again. There it is. But that's the meter that made it over to the Tram Titan. Not sure what the difference was. Take a transmission and tell us about the green radio.
Jesus, that was not uncalled for. Big green radio, 5x7 speaker, the big S meter, which is 3.5 inches by 3 inches. Volume, noise limiter, squelch, to the two controls for the channels, and a little funky switch in the middle of the radio that used to make it go to another channel.
And again, one of the earlier radios that has the 23-channel tunable receive, but they, unlike the Comstat, they put all the crystals in for you. But they still gave you an external crystal socket. But it says external receive. But I see there's a slidey switch there on the bottom to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's for the manual and the X-Tal receive, external crystal receive. And, actually, I don't even think that's hooked up because I put a crystal in there and nothing happened.
Yeah, maybe people complained, it's like, well, you got to rotate the dial and you've got to do the spot and hope it's there and hope it's not off. So if you had your favorite channel, you could pop that, let's say it's 27085, right? You could put the crystal receive in there and flip the switch and you would be ready to go. No spotting necessary.
There you go. Well, it's a nice radio. Got it from a 93-year-old old ham radio guy. So, yeah, he took good care of it. With that, we'll go ahead and let you get a few more radios.
That we will do, because this is the Old Tube Radio Network. I see a couple of positive comments about the big green radio tonight. So, thanks for bringing it by on the Old Tube Radio Network. Good audio, as always, from the Tram. I wonder if there's any AM guys on tonight on 75. Let me see if I can find a carrier. Nothing. It gets quiet on the ham bands. I heard somebody on 40 meters testing on, what's the frequency? 7293, at least here on the West Coast. But things are a little bit quiet on the 75-meter amateur band tonight, so good time to check in a radio. We're looking for number 6. Yeah, well, Dwayne, that's the thing. When you're in a non-professional situation like this, a little bit of dead air, you do not get that phone call from the general manager or the sales department. And the crew out there over the Jingle Singers never seem to notice. And Mitch is right. So just like we do at the radio station, when you have a little bit of time to fill to the top of the hour, there's always that special fill music. In fact, and like his, it's around here somewhere. ETC did leave their autographed copy of Helium is Overrated. So you just never know when it might pop in. I think the CD player's hooked into the audio board without RF. I don't know. And there, Juliet Whiskey. Hello, John. Saying hello from Iowa, listening in. Hope you are having some good DX. The bands have been pretty good of late if you're on at the right time. Also, a hello to our new stations from the Bronx, and everybody say hello to the Google bots in Mountain View, checking us out to make sure that we are playing it safe here on the Old Tube Radio Network. See, that's why I like the Espresso Trucking Company has given us a complete copyright for any of their tunes. So it kind of throws off the Mountain View crew. There's somebody at 3880. Probably running an old tube radio with a little bit more power than we hear tonight, but probably not much different. And my guess, they're probably coming out of the Midwest or the East Coast, because the signal is a little less than stellar. Yeah, a three talking to a 4. Not bad here to the West Coast. OTR standing by. Yeah, that was off the ICOM on the desk here on a 40-meter antenna. So I'm sure if I tuned into an SDR, they would be super loud. But Greg says the AMI, the East Coast AMI guys on 3880 probably. Looking for radio number 6.
listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
And John saying 3880 is 20 over in Iowa. See, you don't need the big DX antenna. You're in the middle of it. All right, and here's the clueless man question to Chrissy, who gave us a recipe, an OTR casserole recipe. So you've got the potatoes and you've got the meat, and you're dumping in all that liquid. You're dumping in all the soup, and I have a good substitution for the cream of mushroom stuff. So what happens? Does that just bake out? Do you have a soupy mess, or what happens after whatever time you're supposed to bake it? What goes on? What's the scientific properties that are happening here? Hey, there is plenty of room on the list tonight. And 60 works well with the number 6 at 9:40 Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead, over.
Thank you much, Dennis. We'd like to check in our 11-tube modified Robin T123V with a lollipop desk mic.
Looking for, you know what? This is like all request radio. I was looking at the comments on the YouTube side, and someone says, Chrissy says, someone needs to check in a 123B Robin. Says, come on. Now, I didn't say that out loud, but it was just moments, and then there you were, and here you are with the Robin. Take a transmission.
We thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. Yeah, we are here in I think Dennis and I, Dennis the Menace, I should say, we've talked on this one here on Channel 35, and we tested out a few of the channels, and everything seems to be working okay. Doggone it, we haven't messed with the back part of it at all as far as the tuning situation that it has back there. It has a meter adjustment also, so you can zero it out there and get some pretty almost true readings there. And of course the modulation light kind of working overtime there with this desk mic. It could stand to be a little brighter, but she works pretty good. And doggone it, I keep forgetting before I even, I'm thinking all the time that I should warm it up a little more, but I keep forgetting it's an instant on. I had it on standby, I guess, there for, about an hour, and just realized it that all I had to do was turn the dial, and she was ready to go.
Like the old standby receivers, keeping the filaments warm so that you don't have any drift or warm-up time. I mean, when you need to key up and say break, right? You can't wait 2 minutes because the opportunity might be gone. Radio sounds great. The modulation is pleasant and perfect, and you're just in the right spot for making it sound good. And I agree. Some of our SWLs tonight are saying it is good to hear 60. It is good to hear Joe back on the radio. I definitely missed hearing you and the rigs last couple of weeks, so I'm glad we're all glad you can make it back into the radio room and join the Tube Radio list. And this is a good addition on the Robin T123B. Back to you.
Well, we're happy with it, and we're glad to be back, Dennis. We still are going through a tough time, but I guess all this makes it feel a little better. I feel a little better getting back on the radio. I know that's what old Pancho wanted me to do, was continue doing what I was doing there when he was still alive. But no, we're starting to feel a little better. And this radio here has on the squelch, it also has a pull knob, so I can make you a little bassier or a little tinnier. And that's kind of nice because I like that. I enjoy it. And as for the dial, well, it's at the moment it's green, but it's got a couple of colors on there. The number is yellow, but the rest of it's green.
Don't ever knock a green anything during the live session of the Old Tube Radio Network. There are fans of greenness out there listening. I zoomed in. It says pull tone. Gotta love those hidden little pull knobs and things, although there's a lot of things not hidden on here with the knobs and lights and everything else. Oh, I wanted to, before you go, I wanted to ask you about, you've got the modification on, I believe it's a synthesized crystal bank that adds and subtracts a little bit differently to get you onto the other channels at the time the radio came out that weren't FCC acceptable channels, if you will. They weren't even channels, but now they are. So do you have a cheat sheet? How do you know where you're going? How do you know how to get to channel 35? Do you have to pull out the 3x5 card and check it out?
Well, this has little micro switches in the front, and right now at the moment, the left side next to the meter, the switch is down. And on the external speaker with a little orange cover, the switch is up. Now, if I reverse those and go up with the first one and down with the second one and go to channel 1, I'd be on 26. And channel 2 would be 27, but I'm having a little trouble with 27. I'm not even sure that that one might be there, but then it'll go channel 3, it'll go 28, 29, 30, 31 up like on channel 9, 10, 35, and so forth. But just according to the little switches, right now, for what we're doing here, or keep it on the AM side, it's one switch down and the micro switch up.
Okay, there was a song about that. One switch down, one switch up. At least you know where it is, and you know what position the switches need to be to find the Saturday night place to be, Old Tube Radio. And we are much better for it. Radio number 6, the Robin T123B, just loafing along. Not even trying too hard, and it is sounding excellent. And getting rave reviews from the SWLs for many reasons. Back to you for transmission. Thanks for sharing it with you, and like we said, good to hear you back in the mix.
Well, thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. I really do, and doggone it, thanks to the SWLs that we're back. It's because of them and yourself and what we do here with these radios is what it's got me motivated again. And I appreciate keying up this T123B because I really like this radio. Doggone it, other than the fact that it has the volume, the squelch, fine tune, and RF gain, and all of the lights work. When you put the PA speaker in, the button in, it stays in, the light comes on. You do the same with the PA, the light comes on and the PA stays locked, and I've run it on an external speaker, and everything works. So thank you a whole bunch there, Dennis, and we'll let the old channel rock.
All right, thanks for bringing it by for Radio 6. I wanted to quickly answer John 128 says, what model ICOM? Says all his gear is ICOM except the FT101. I've got one of those here somewhere. Long ago, that was the old Tube Radio. Can you see it? Let me get rid of all the garbage here. There it is. It's on the. It's very new. It's a deal that popped up that I had no idea about, and I couldn't turn it down. I have no ICOM gear at all except for this. So it's to answer your question, it's the IC 7000. And so far, I am getting used to, or trying to get used to, massive menus and a lot of, punching the button 3 or 4 times to get back to where you were, to get to what you want. I got the power supply problem I had, which was the cables were too small, current starved, and it's working pretty good now, and haven't made a lot of contacts on it. But I do have a vertical antenna now, so I'm HF active, not quite where I want to be, but this has sort of sparked my interest to get things going. So it's the 7000, and it had basically been sitting around for about 8 years, so it's almost like new. The Old Tube Radio Network. Oh, I want to say hello to Smarty Jones. It says good evening, staying up late. And Levon, who is enjoying all the fun radios. We enjoy them too. OTR standing by looking for Radio 7.
Are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Don't go away. The Jingle Singers, do not go away. Is anybody dancing to that? Can you do that again? The one you just did. Is that a cha-cha? Who knows their dance songs? That's a cha-cha, isn't it?
Are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
3, 4, cha-cha-cha. So I hope you're dancing.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
You're dancing to the Jingle Singers.
Radio
I never could do a cha-cha.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
All those old dances like foxtrots and cha-chas, I don't know. I can't even boogaloo. We're looking for Radio 7. Yes, Chrissy, you answered my question. It's just like follow the instructions and believe. You must have faith in the oven to do what it's supposed to do. So it'll thicken up. Is that who that was? Ray says he sees Pee Wee Herman dancing. I hope that's what he's doing. I think everybody's counting their stock of stuff. I see my SWR is failing me here. There we go. The Central Valley here, Fresno area, and about 5, well, what do we got? 9 counties are going into the big lockdown mode in 24 hours, which is, something that's happened before, but let's see, what is it? The safety rate for the ECU hospital things is getting below where it needs to be. So I think there may be a lot of people who are out and about just making sure that things are ready to go. So when we lock down, we know where the radios are, but got to make sure all that other stuff is where it should be. And Alameda is midnight. Okay, well, that's California. You guys want to be first? Go ahead. So it might be some good times to get on the radio if we have some conditions. And John, I agree with the menus. The only thing is you have 500 of them and you may only use 25, so you kind of memorize what you need to do. It's just pressing the button the right way. Or pressing the right button and then pressing it the right way. Let me try something. I don't know if this works or not. We'll find out. We're looking for Radio 7. Are you in the booth? I'm going to try and have them queue up in the booth. And I think, wasn't there a Browning Eagle song from Espresso, right? Yeah, Golden Eagles. Let me see if it even works. We'll give it a shot. May have to, if the CD player isn't getting RF in it tonight. We'll see what happens, and maybe it will generate here in the last few minutes some Browning Eagles to check in of any flavor, right? We'll see what happens on your old Tube Radio Network. Is it okay to play music on the radio? Is that jamming? Well, I guess when it's specifically made for your particular venue, it might be okay. Looking for Radio 7 on the old Tube Radio Network.
Number 7?
You know, they told me in broadcasting class that advertising works, and I think we just proved it. Go ahead, 7. Over.
And for the listening pleasure of all the SWLs, yes, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle gold-plated limited edition D104 from Static Corporation.
Sounding very Eagle-like. Let me get into the Rolodex here. We have a great shot from SWL 135, but it shows. I don't know why anything. This stuff is not showing up tonight. The website is trying to blow up, but I'm going to try and make that not happen. So give us another transmission. I'll see if I can get the for those that have the video portion. We'll see if we get the video up of the radio.
There you go. Well, I do believe you'll have a picture of one that is pretty much like this one. Very few differences, but yeah, the golden microphone, and of course the large two-piece radio. Which wasn't too long ago. Well, actually, it's been about a year now. Been totally gone through by Harvey and those guys, and did a great job.
There's a lot you can do. And Greg, who knows about, when I may have a nice phone patch coming in, and I want to get a phone call up to Greg or down to Greg in the Wiki Wacky land, and we'll talk Brownings. We'll take 5 minutes and talk Brownings. Greg has lots of information, and he's got some printed information. We'll talk about that. So Greg, put that on your calendar. Maybe we can work that out for 2021. We'll get you on a phone patch here, and we'll talk Brownings so that all those, and we do have a lot of Browning owners out there that would probably benefit from the information. Sounding good as it always does. You're close enough to put the S meter at 20 over, and it's a Browning. What can I say? Here we go. Back to you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure running the radios for Old Tube Radio Night. And with that, we'll sit back and take a listen.
All right. Thanks for Radio 7. Doing good with the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle Microphonium. And I'll probably pronounce this wrong. Epimetheus 83, saying that Mark III was his radio. That's what he grew up on. And they had stack PDLs too. I only talked to a few people on stack PDL2s, and they said they were the best antenna, the best bang for antennas that you get. And you don't have this huge, big footprint like you did with the Moonraker 6, but you probably had just as good to transmit and receive and front to back. The Old Tube Radio Network, 10 o'clock hour. I'm going to be counting and amounting soon, but if you've got a radio that you want to check in or is warming up, we will hang out for you. OTR is counting and amounting.
How about a late check-in?
We can do a late check-in. Let me get to the right screen and get to the right thing. There's all sorts of... You know, you're a net controller. There's all sorts of little things that have to be done to make this official. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I can barely copy you. I just got a whole bunch of noise here tonight, Dennis, but you said something about the net, but I just got so much noise I'm not copying you. Sorry.
All right, no problem. A lot of people having noise tonight. You are checked in. SWL 70, you are checked in. Over.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I don't have a Harvey range boost here.
I do.
Oh, you do. You heard me say counting and amounting, and that got you to skedaddle into the radio room. Over.
Okay. Yeah, no range boost on tonight. I've got to wire that thing up. I've got it where, well, it's across the room. Okay, my Golden Beagle by Browning Lavatories there, R68T68. And something I haven't done in a couple of years, this Browning is 100% American.
Yeah, a lot of the early radios were out there. It sounds good. You've got it in a good spot. Good audio, and that ping sounds like it's, if you do it too hard, you could break it.
I don't want to break the ping. of my 100% American radio.
Absolutely not. The radio number 8 at 10 o'clock. That is Pacific Standard Time. What am I showing? Like 6 in the morning. We have people up early Sunday morning. Hello to, and you've got to tell me your name again. Delta Kilowatt 5 Oscar November Victor, who is listening in the stream from somewhere in Germany, I believe, who enjoys all the radios, always has some great comments on watching the video, and it's nice to have you up and running early in the morning here on the live broadcast. Over. And go ahead, Harvey.
Oh, yeah. I like the fact that people listen from all over the place. That's good. Okay. I won't take up too much more time. I'll be back next week, and I'll try and have, maybe a few different radios on. As far as this is in the right space, or right place, this is about in the only place it could be. Okay, we'll turn it back to you. Catch you next week.
All right, very good. Thanks for jumping into the radio room. And it's Gunter. Yes, thank you. We do a program at the FM radio station, and the host is from Germany. And I have to practice because her name is Ulrike. And I always say it just not quite right. And then her co-host is Aliyah. But if you look at it, I always say Elijah, but it's Aliyah. So I will do best. I will do my best to pronounce everybody's name tonight here. But glad to have you in on the live stream. And we would need some definite long path DX conditions to go live and direct. The Old Tube Radio Network, counting and mounting. Radio 8 is open. No, Radio 9. Radio 8 was the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, and we are listening on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Channel 11, Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right, have to get back to the program here. The Old Tube Radio Network. Where's our jingle singers? They have to do the fanfare. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals. I also want to say thank you to our sponsor tonight. Out of the OTR Pocket Protector, the Radio and TV Equipment Incorporated Company from Wholesale Distributors in Fargo, North Dakota. I have to read it off the pen that is in the Pocket Protector tonight. The virtual sponsor. And let's see. I'm going to see what I can do here. 83. What can I do? Is it possible to get 83? Because it's actually not there. It's a pared down list. I might be able to do a swap. I don't know. I'll have to see. Let me check on that. I might be able to perform some magic, but I can't promise because I don't have all the computers. So stand by on the SWL 83 item. We'll see what happens. I know people. Checking into the numbers. Here we go. We had 14 SWLs on page 1, 19 on page 2, 16 on page 3, 17 on page 4 for a total of 66, and a total of 8 radios tonight. The most heard manufacturer appears to be a tie between the Trams and the Brownings at 2 apiece. Started off with the Tram Titan. Let me switch video here so you don't have to look at me. Something more interesting. Started off with the Tram Titan from Paul. Sounding good. I think we want to replay on that one with a different microphone at some point in the next year or two. Radio number 2, Paul was on the General Radio Telephone MC5. No problem there. Sounding good. And the Q-Bird was up to snuff, as they say. Jimmy, that's right. That's not what you know. It's who you know. Radio 3, E.F. Johnson, Messenger 223. Always a good sound from that, from SWL 60. Good to have you in there, Joe. Radio number 4, Paul was on the Lafayette Comstat 9 kit from the very affordable Comstat 9 and 19. Don't have your license? Just flip the switch in the back. The FCC will leave you alone at 100 milliwatts. Radio 5, the Tram TR27 Echo from the Green Radio Files. Thanks, Ed, for that. Radio number 6, the Robin T123B, Keeping Up the Green. Thanks, Joe. Mr. Ed on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. And as you heard moments ago from the west side, Harvey, on the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, running out the frequencies, the radios tonight. I do not have a tube total. Why do I not have a tube total? Let me see what's up with that. That's sort of a thing now, isn't it? I'll be right back. OTR. All right, back with the tube totals. I got to do my job or they'll replace me. Maybe they should replace me anyway. What did I? 96 tubes tonight for the 8 radios. So not too bad, considering this is about half as many radios as we had last week and about half as many tubes. But even if we get one tube, I've got a couple of tubes in the rack here. I think there's some 12AX7s in the audio preamps. So we try harder on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks everybody for for your participation. We couldn't do it without you, right? On a Saturday evening, there's lots going on, so when you take time out to jump into the radio room to listen or jump in with your radios, it makes it great. Don't forget to, if you are studying for your amateur license, to keep that up. I know it's a little hard with finding testing these days, but the bands are really getting good. Antennas are cheap and easy. Maybe not so with the radios, but Cycle 25 is promising that it could be kind of good, so you might want to get in on that. If you've got a tube radio or a radio of any sort, get on the air. DX has been good. If you're not a DX hound, you can probably always find somebody to talk to. Good night, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network is saying 73, and I don't know, maybe we'll keep the stream up a little bit and see if there's anything going on the HF bands for a moment or two. Good night from OTR.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks a whole bunch.
Good night, good net, and thanks to Bozo Control and all the SWLs.
Good night, Dennis.
And good night. And the dude with the proboscis says likewise. Okay, let's try something here before I blow something up. See, we got the auxiliary radio now. Oh, I'm on AM. That's why it sounds weird. Anything happening? The vertical antenna is sort of less than stellar. $75. I'm just not hearing a thing. Do I need the preamp on? Probably not. It's just going to pick up noise. Not even 3840. Let's go up to 40 meters. The DX guys down on 7157. And some shortwave broadcasts. It's not a fit night out for man or beast or SWL, it seems. I bet there's FT8. Oh, there we go.
Was that a 1PWR, I believe it was. And DK, your QSR came in and popped in and said hello to those guys. But they were talking about, they were saying, you know, I think I heard somebody in the States. I said, all right, well, you know, I was just about to, you know, cover it. I mean, just about to pull the switch and stuff like that. All right, I got you. And they were all running nice signals. 5.7, 5.8, that type of thing.
Oh, there's Mike. That voice right there that you can't hear. And he must have his beams pointed the wrong way, but that's a guy that's about 30 miles away from me. He's probably running stacked 40-meter beams. And he's the owner of M Squared Antennas. That's Mike talking DX. And you can hear him sort of in a backscatter, fluttery mode. So the band is always open if you've got the hardware, right? There's the digital stuff at 70, 75, 70, 76. All right, well, looks like a bust. I was hoping there'd be a little yam activity out there tonight, but my less than stellar equipment ain't gonna run it, so. Anyway, have fun. Stay safe. It's getting critical again, so do what you need to do. Good night, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network is going to pull the plug, as they say. Wherever the plug is. There's so many plugs here, I may not pull the right one. It may be 6 hours before I found the right one. Oh, 160. You know, I don't even think I can. I don't even have 160. Richard is there. And Richard, I get you checked in at 78. Let me do that. Look at that. Right as soon as I checked at 160, it's there.
Anyway, I guess you could get close with it, but anyhow. And then the other...
I recognize that voice. 1945. I think these are the guys that run some of the AM iNets on AM that go down as 160.
QL, and the metering circuit doesn't work on that. And it's like, yeah. So
that's one of the net controllers there.
The metering circuit don't work on a tuner, yeah. And you don't need it. It's nice if it does, but it doesn't. So you just use the meters you have in line. And yeah, that's the right way to go. If you buy another board, don't burn that one up, just save it. If you want to sell the tuner, you put the board in.
Good old 160. Now you got to work a little bit to get 160. To get the antennas efficient and functional. But as Richard mentions, it's a great band. It's like getting out of Walmart in the crowded parking lot and going to the corner store down the street where there's still plenty of stuff, but you're not tripping over everybody, right? Anybody else we can hear? Not much, huh? There's some CW. Is it a contest? And W7, going too fast for me, I think. So there is a contest. W7 FPP? I don't know. CPP. So there you go. That's down on the CW 1873. It's the old test. Some big signals here. Wow. There's a pilot. And I ran a J38 key all night. My J38 key, my novice key, was keying up the radio. So I'll have to make the extra switch to put it into the key socket here. That's they're listening to the ICOM 7000 here. On 160 meters. All right, good night, everybody. There's always a contest wherever you are. Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Good night.